thought defensively, the team played well on third down into that spot to go, so I was pleased to see some of that. But just, not enough plays for us, third downs offensively to really win it, Nicky. So unusual game for sure, but that's the division, and wild games, battling for it. But more than anything, that's what I shared with him about applying those lessons we learned.
Special teams had some good plays at the start, but obviously the second half some more struggle. What thoughts on Cyber today and then the initial kick return coming back?
Yeah, for sure. I can hit you on all of them. I want to look at them all to make sure, like usually on a kick, it's usually the operation to everything to make sure, snap, hold, kick, all of that to go. I know on one of the extra points, looked like it hit the ground. I didn't have the same, broadcast, view that you guys did, but that's what I saw. And so he's working through that. We've had that, come up, before. So that's the balance of getting underneath and going so you don't have low kicks. As far as the one at the end, honestly, I thought, Ben, it's going to be a good kick. Got him pinned down. Anytime you can get it to bounce, you think you're in good shape. But, Devontae made a couple good, moves to get an explosive one to go. But I loved our attitude when we'd have to score, what that would be to go get us into this fight, get a 4-minute stop. I don't know how long the last few minutes locked, but it seemed like there was a season of, teachable moments that would go on. And so I love what we stand for the finish, and I'm wanting those lessons to be, applied earlier in the ball game.
You mentioned you liked the fight that you guys had at the end, but at the beginning, did you think it was there to the degree that it had been for most of the year when you guys have come out pretty strong against teams like this? Yeah, I want to make sure this confidence is rolling whoever we're playing, Ben, and I don't want it to go up and down and up and down. So again, I'll look back at the tape, and man, the best part of this is you get to go dig in and go for it again, man. And but from a performance side, is there plenty to clean up on? You bet. And you don't want to miss an opportunity. And when you got a home game and going for it in the division, you want to take advantage of those. And when you miss them, it stings.
Dave, you guys had a few home games earlier in the year where you were playing struggling teams and you dominated them. You came out and buried them. Does a day like today where you don't do that, you kind of play down, does that give you any pause or worry about where you guys are at all?
No, I really thought playing a division team, back in the corner, they're going to come out and fight too. This is a group that's got, a lot of pride about them as well. So I didn't think that was going to be the case heading in.
And then the offense has struggled the last few weeks, and I know there's 100 reasons why, but
yeah.
What are you seeing that was there in September and October that's not there?
Yeah. Sometimes I feel there's when you make a mistake, is that one that's technique or over trying, and sometimes that can be a thing to make sure to make the plays that come to you. And that's part of execution too. And I want to make sure we just stay into that pocket of doing that. Any player or coach I'm going to make the perfect call or the perfect run or whatever that looks like. And more often than not, just the best ones executed, and we'll continue to work hard at that. But as we're going through, that's something we're going to dig to. I think we had talked I don't know if it was last week or the week before about self-scouting and that, and we stay pretty consistent with that throughout. So I don't necessarily feel it's that as much as let's make sure this execution is right. And I was very pleased that we had practice this past week where we got more shots at it, more things to go, and I look forward to that being the case again, because that's really how you do get better. And I loved the energy that the guys had, and although it didn't carry over into the game for the execution, the preparation was right.
After Terry's touchdown, you immediately make the signal for one. Did you give any thought to two?
No, I thought if after we score, we'd go for one, and the reason behind that, I thought, let's get back into it, but we don't have to decide it on this play. And so that was where I thought, let's go, and then, hey, Joe, we got one stop, we'll get it, and then at the coin toss, let's go through the whole process again and reset it. So I thought, in that way, that was the right call on that. As obviously, you're not factoring in the other part of things, but that was my thought going into it. The previous one, if we had scored, we had to kick a field goal. I wanted to kick the field goal in prior to the 2 minutes so we could use that, have the other timeout. So when you're down 2 scores, you're kind of a little more strategic to get a kick in prior to a certain time. So that's what we had told Jaden in the offense. Let's get it in before this time. And so it gave us a chance to come back to it, get the stop to go, and then the big one to Terry. So, but I was thinking one the whole time. Sorry, long-winded answer to your question.
Seems like hours ago now, but the 4th and 2 early in the game, maybe the first or second drive, you kick the 50-yard field goal. Seems like most of the year in that spot, you guys have gone for that. You just take us through that thinking.
Really going into it, we just, talked about our line to kick, and Austin had a good week at it, went to go. So once it's at the space, that's the line to get to, and we didn't feel like we had to overtry or go further for it. So it had nothing to do with anything other than, hey, we're at the spot, let's go get some points and move it from there.
One more situation. All right, so some soul searching to be done for Washington. This Commanders team started hot, but on a losing streak now, 0-3. Here is the football begins to matter more. Holidays are upon us, but little to celebrate on this 3-game losing streak. A negative point differential. Points per game obviously down. Total yards, many of them on Sunday coming here in crunch time. Game on the line. Daniels playing his best football in those pressure moments, but not enough against a Cowboys team that becomes the first double-digit dog to win outright this season.